How can I understand my intuition more? Welcome back, my dear friends, to my brand new series, Transformation with Tarot. I am super excited about this. This is going to be the very first video of the series, and it is all about how to tap into your intuition, how to unleash your intuition, how to really understand it more. Because honestly, this is the most important thing when it comes to reading tarot, to doing any psychic readings, predictions, even in astrology and numerology. You do have to use some sort of your intuition in it. So intuition is really just that, the very base, the very foundation that everyone needs to learn before they start to do readings. Let me know in the comments below what you struggle with personally. Maybe it isn't your intuition, maybe it's something else. This is just a question I get asked a lot, and I figured it'd be a great place to start for you guys. If you're personally looking for guidance, I do offer readings. All this information is in the description below. You also may want to grab a notebook, a pen, and your tarot cards. I'm not going to be really using the tarot that much in this video, but it's something you may want to look at and kind of, you know, just have by your side to tap into more. Don't forget to like and subscribe, comment below, and let's get started with this video. So first of all, intuition. What is it and how does it exactly work in the first place? So in order to access your intuition, you need two things. First thing is to become aware of it. The second thing is to believe in yourself. Sounds simple, right? Intuition, or inner tutor, is what the word actually comes from. The etymology of it just means inner tutor. This is your access to source, spirit, or the unified field, whatever you would like to call it. This is a field of information that connects everyone and everything together in this universe. And everyone has access to this information or their intuition. So your body is literally a sacred technology. I look at it kind of like a cell phone. So if you don't understand how to use your cell phone, it's going to be frustrating. You're not going to understand how you get messages, what's going on with the phone. But as soon as you start to understand how your phone works and how it can actually become a tool, then you can tap into it and actually use it to help you. In every moment of every day, we are receiving and processing information from our field of awareness and even beyond. So over 90% of the information that we receive from this field, we cannot see, hear, or touch. And this is because our current reality, 3D, we can't even see most of the universe and reality around us. This is how you know when somebody is sneaking up behind you. This is how you know when somebody is about to call or text, and you know what they're going to say. This is also when you can sense that somebody is in danger or going to be hurt in a situation. You know, those feelings that you get, those gut feelings of, this person's lying to me, they're not telling me the truth, there's something that I don't trust about this situation. All of this is you tapping into this information. This information is all coming through our conscious mind, which is our filter of our reality, how we filter and perceive things in our reality. We've simply trained our minds to not focus on these things because they didn't serve a purpose to us. The brain has to have a purpose in order for it to process that information. So in order for you to start to pick up these intuitive messages, it's as simple as just becoming aware that the fact that there's always messages and information coming through, in order to turn this sense on and to begin to notice things. It's kind of like the angel numbers and things like that. You know, you may see it on your Instagram feed, this 111 number, and then all of a sudden you're seeing it everywhere. This is information coming through from the field. This is why it's so important to just become aware of intuition in general and how it works. The next thing that we need to do in order to tap into your intuition is to retrain the false ego mind. And so have you ever noticed when you are doing a reading, or maybe you're messing with your tarot cards, you're working with your tarot cards, or you're in a situation where you're picking up intuitive messages, you're getting that gut feeling, but the next thing that pops into your head is, you're making this up. This is not real. That is the false ego coming through. The false ego will make you doubt or discredit the information that you are receiving, and this is why it's so important that we work on retraining this part of your mind. So in order to retrain it, we have to go back to really the first thing I was talking about, and that is we have to become aware of our thoughts. We just have to become aware, because most of what is going on in our minds is just this repeating program. So to become conscious and aware of these negative programs that are coming in, or negative thoughts and feelings and beliefs that are shutting intuition down. Something else that I want to say right here, and it's on a little more serious note, is we are trained in our societies to not trust ourselves. We're constantly put down and told we are wrong and that we need to recorrect and and to fix things over and over. So there is this inside of us that we are not right. We inherently feel like we are not right because we have been put down most of our lives. So that is another programming that has to be removed and really just taken out completely. Having the overall belief that you are not right and you discredit yourself or doubt yourself will block your intuition from coming in 100%. So in order to retrain the false ego, I do have tips and tricks at the end of this video that we will go over more. I do want to get into just a few more things before we get to that part of the video. So a lot of times you're reading tarot, or you may be getting visions or thoughts or something, and your mind will tell you this is just your imagination playing tricks on you, you're making this up again. Imagination is directly connected to intuition and the unified field, source, or spirit. All thoughts, ideas, and imagination come from this field. Have you ever just been inspired by something? This is coming from the unified field. It came as a download. This is intuition. This is inspiration. And all these words actually go hand in hand. You can trace them back to all connect together. It's all about having that inner spirit within you that you are connected to. We're not actually even making up the information that we are getting when we feel like we had this creative idea. All thoughts and potentials already exist. We're just pulling from them at all time. But when we start to trust our intuition, our imagination will get stronger. We will become more creative. So whenever you are inspired to do something, you have that inspired moment, this is your intuition coming through. So I wanted to give you guys just some personal stuff that I dealt with imagination. So when I started doing past life readings and even Akashic readings, and so I would start to have images, these feelings, all these things coming through, different colors flashing, and it was like I would focus in on this, and these pictures would unfold, these scenes would unfold. I would ask what year it is, the year would come through, and it would be right. All these things would at first felt like, okay, I'm just making this up, but when I actually started doing research, bringing through names and bringing through dates and wars and different sicknesses and different things that were happening, they would always line up. And this literally felt like my imagination making it up at first. So play around with your imagination and don't be afraid to use it. So we all have a unique way of receiving our intuitive messages. Some are different than others. And this is kind of like the format that you receive your message, your intuitive message in. It's like, am I getting the email? Am I getting a voicemail? Or am I getting a, picture message kind of thing is the way I look at it. So you probably heard of the 5 clairs, and clair just means clear. So we have clairvoyant, which is clear seeing. We have clairsentient, which is clear feeling. We have claircognizant, which is clear knowing. We have clairaudience, which is clear hearing. So the way you can kind of figure out what your more dominant clair is through how you speak. And this is just kind of like a guideline. So if you're saying, I see you a lot, or I see what you're saying, you would be more clairvoyant, you would be clear seeing. If you go, oh, I know that, then you're more claircognizant, which is that clear knowing. If you're saying, oh, I hear you, you are more clairaudient. If you're saying, oh, I feel you, you are clairsentient. So just pay attention, analyze how you speak to people, what words you use the most. You might use different ones. I use I know and I see a lot. And those are my more dominant gifts. And so you kind of can start there and, start to tap into, okay, I'm going to be able to get messages. If you're more clairvoyant, you'll be getting visual messages. You're going to be having pictures and things like that coming through. If you're saying, I know, you're channeling information instantly. Like you'll know words to songs, you'll know, who's about to call. You're going to just know information that people are going to go, where did you get that? Like, how did you even know that? So I don't want you to overthink this. These are more of a baseline to get you tuned in and tapped into your own gift. So I truly believe that how we all receive messages is unique. I feel that we all, you know, it's not one size fits all. Our intuition isn't one size fits all. So I will say, for example, if I feel spirit is coming through to talk to me, I will get a ringing in my left ear, and sometimes I'll feel pressure on my left arm like somebody is pushing down on me. So that's something that I didn't even notice for years because I wasn't paying attention to it. Pay attention to what information comes through for you guys and how you're receiving it. Just becoming very, very aware of yourself, your thoughts, you know, how things even change in your own, you know, surroundings. You may look outside. If you're sitting in your house in a room and you're asking a question of the tarot, you can look up and see a butterfly go by. You can see a red car go by. All of this is information pertaining to your question that you are asking. So let's get into intuitive practices and tips and tricks, because this is just as important as understanding your intuition. So, you know, when working with your intuition, it is just like a muscle, any muscle in your body. You have to work with it, you have to have a practice, and you have to train it. So I say these things all the time, but this is what I have found helps the most. And I think most intuitives would agree with me. In order to strengthen your intuition, definitely meditation, mindfulness, breath work, doing movement, and each one of these are very, very important in their own respect. So for like breath work, I use breath work personally every day, and you can literally do breath work for 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, and it will improve how you feel in that 10 minutes. It'll give you clarity, and it'll help you kind of, you know, release that stress, anxiety, and tap more into the moment, which is where you need to be in order to really tap into source energy. We have to be in the moment in order to tap into our intuition. If our mind is somewhere else, if it's in anxiety, if it's worried about something, we're not going to be getting the messages that we're trying to get. Meditation is something I hear all the time people struggle with. So what you want to do is you want to do a breath work and yoga practice or movement practice before you do meditation. This helps you ease into calming your mind, and then you're able to sit. But once again, meditation is something you have to practice, something you have to work on. And so it's very important to have self-control when it does come to tapping into your intuition and giving readings to people. So all these practices will help you retrain your subconscious mind in order to just be in the moment, to have awareness in the moment. And like I said earlier, being in the moment is where you get your information. The present moment is the only thing that is available for information to come through. So it's very important to train your mind to be in the moment as much as possible, especially when you are doing readings. So here are some tips on how to decipher your intuition versus your ego. How do you know you're making it up or not? So you've probably heard of the old saying that intuition is the first thing that comes to your mind, and this is partially true. This is a lot of the times true. So, but in order to really become mindful and know exactly if this is true or not, is to become aware of your thoughts, which we just talked about. We use those practices that I mentioned in order to bring yourself into more, you know, awareness, into more mindfulness. And then when you're able to do that, you're going to be aware of your thoughts, and you're going to know who is talking. Is ego talking? Is intuition talking? Am I getting information from the unified field, or am I getting it from ego? Ego, like I said earlier, is always going to discredit you. Okay? It's always going to doubt what is coming through. Intuition it comes through, it's just truth. It is 100% truth, so it doesn't ever have to prove itself. It doesn't have to come up with excuses. So it will literally come through as just this information. Just this information. It has, you know, no bias attached to it. And so ego will always have a bias attached to it. No, this is not true. No, you're making this up, sort of thing. So that is how I can tell all the time whenever I'm doing readings, if the information I'm getting, and once I'm really tapped into a flow of things. And you guys will get to a point when you are doing readings that it is a flow, that you are just receiving information, that you know that you're connected to spirit, to source energy, to that unified field, because you can feel it. You can feel that information coming through. But as you're practicing and learning, being able to tell those two apart is so important, you guys, because like I said, the ego will come through and make you doubt yourself so much because we've been programmed that way. So the universe is constantly bringing us messages, and so we can take time each day and ask questions and see how the universe sends us those messages. You know, I recommend also taking time each day and journaling. You know, maybe asking a question like, what do I need to know today? What is the intuitive information that I need to hear today? And so you just sit in mindfulness, and you can do this outside. I really recommend it outside. But you sit wherever you can, you know, and you just record all the things that come to your head, all the information, all the things that you're picking up on. Maybe you pick up on something in your room, in your living room, that you haven't noticed forever. Maybe like a little statue or something. This is information coming through. Most of the time we are very unconscious to these messages, so we just ignore them. But once you start to see that really we live in this very magical universe that is constantly communicating to us, it becomes really fun. So something else I want to say about actually when you start learning tarot and their tarot card meanings is to not get hung up on the meanings. Okay, so I recommend you pulling one card a day and writing down all the information that comes through for you personally. You're building a like catalog of symbols and meanings for this language basically that you have between you and spirit and the universe. So it really can be whatever you want as long as you can remember it. And the other thing is too, there are going to be times that you look at a card and it's not the same meaning that you originally had for it. And it's okay, you can be open to that too. But when you really have those baseline meanings in your own way to communicate with spirit, it'll be a lot easier for you to start to decipher things. But I do recommend one card a day and just really focusing on it, and you know, taking that card and applying it to different situations during the day. So say like the court cards, people always have trouble with the court cards. I did too. But what I did is I took each of them and I turned them into a person in my life. I identified, you know, whatever this person's actions, feelings, and beliefs to that card, and I started to read the card as that person. So yeah, pulling one card a day, assigning them meanings, writing down everything that comes to you. This is really going to help you learn and identify with your tarot cards much more and feel more comfortable with them too. Something else that has to be said is about sometimes you're going to be wrong. That's okay. Sometimes we're tapped into the wrong energy. Sometimes we've had a bad day and, you know, that energy is lingering over us, or a situation is lingering over us, and we're just interpreting things wrong. This is okay. What I do is I go back and ask questions. I go, did I interpret this wrong? Did the person take it wrong? Am I just blocked from the energy at this moment? I kind of try to figure out what happened in that moment. That way, you know, I can see it coming in other situations. So if I know that if I'm too tired, I don't need to be doing a reading. That is important. Or if I had a bad day, I won't do a reading, because you don't want to take any of your energy and project it onto someone else's life when, you know, they are trying to receive messages and information that they need in order to heal and grow. It's very important to make sure that you're not overdoing yourself, because I've done that before, working in certain situations where I've overworked myself and I just became completely blocked. Like completely blocked from my intuition, and I've done it to where I've stopped doing readings for like a month because I keep overdoing it, and then my body's like, no, you need to rest, you need to chill out. So when you find that balance of how many readings you can give a day, you know, what's the best time to tap into your intuition, doing different practices like I mentioned, you know, like breath work, meditation, and mindfulness to help you, you know, get more in a flow and in tune with things. This is going to give you an idea of all those things. So really and truthfully, it's all about, you know, practice. It's all about trying things. It's all about being open to different things, you know, while you're going through this learning process, and being okay with, like I said, being wrong sometimes. Yes, I think that is going to be all for this video. I think it's going to be a little longer than I expected, but I wanted to make sure that I gave you guys all this information. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and let me know in the comments below if you did, or what questions you have. Maybe I missed something, and if I did, I'll make another video. And thank you so much for watching, you guys, and have a super blessed day.